Su nombre y su apellido.
Sí. Albio Osiris, congresista del 8º distrito de New Jersey.
Primero que nada queríamos saber, ustedes están aquí en apoyo al senador Bob Menendez y específicamente en contra de lo que el Departamento de Justicia está pidiendo en estos momentos, de volver a enjuiciarlo.
Sí, estamos aquí para mostrar el apoyo. Todos los líderes hispanos estamos juntos en una voz para mostrar el apoyo que tenemos para Bob Menendez. Y el Departamento de Justicia lo que está haciendo es una cosa abusiva, mandando una nota al juez diciendo que Menendez no puede expresar su cultura, no puede expresar su hispanidad, y para nosotros eso es un insulto. Menendez es el líder de nosotros, es un líder que ha sido en New Jersey, el líder que le ha abierto las puertas a todos los hispanos aquí en este estado y en la nación. Y cómo es que el Departamento de Justicia, que es uno de los departamentos más políticos que existe hoy en día en Washington, tiene decir eso en contra de Menendez.
¿Ustedes piensan que esto es un acto en contra de él por ser hispano o algo de eso? ¿Eso fue lo que le dijo?
Bueno, sí, este es un acto en apoyo de él, porque no quieren que exprese su hispanidad en el juicio. Y yo no entiendo eso. Yo nunca he oído un caso así. Pero esto viene con todo lo que viene en Washington. El presidente hablando en contra de los hispanos, diciendo que los jueces están en contra de él porque son hispanos, y que deben mandarlo a todos, a devolverlo a todo su país. Eso es típico de lo que está pasando en Washington.
Queríamos también preguntarle su opinión sobre la nueva política de inmigración que anunció el presidente ayer, indicando que le iba a dar una posibilidad de ciudadanía a 1.8 millones de los Dreamers.
Sí, estoy todavía por leer exactamente lo que van a poner. El lunes no van a decir lo que es, pero aquí hay mucho más personas que 1.8 que necesitan su ciudadanía. Eso es uno que le puedo decir. Aquí hay más de 11 millones de habitantes que no son documentados y qué vamos a hacer con ellos. Pero la solución para DACA es una cosa positiva.
¿Algo más que no tiene?
Tengo mucho que decir, pero no puedo decirlo en la cámara.
Pues entonces, por favor, deme su nombre, su apellido y su título.
Sí, yo soy Vicente Prieto, yo soy el representante de la Asamblea del Distrito 32, el Speaker Emeritus del General Assembly.
Entonces, cuéntame por qué ustedes están aquí en el apoyo a Bob Menendez.
Bueno, es muy importante estar aquí apoyando a Bob. Bob es una persona que ha dedicado toda su vida para servir a la comunidad. Es una persona que creció en unos proyectos en Union City, de donde yo vengo también. Él ha sido una inspiración para muchos de nosotros que servimos. Es una persona que no hay forma de reemplazarlo, especialmente a donde él ha llegado en el Senado, siendo de más antigüedad, si no me equivoco, ahí de hispano. Ha habido tantas puertas para nosotros y es una persona que tiene la voz de las personas que uno no puede oír nunca. Él es una persona que esto es una lástima que están tratando de usar política, en mi opinión, para dañarlo en un año de elección.
Entonces, ustedes, ¿cuál es el mensaje que ustedes están enviando al Departamento de Justicia?
El mensaje que estamos mandándole al Department of Justice y al Trump Administration, que emigrantes nos vamos a mantener juntos, y es muy importante para nosotros enseñar que alguien así, el valor que tiene, no solamente para emigrantes o para hispanos, pero para todos los residentes del estado de New Jersey y de este país, lo que él ha hecho para la calidad de vida de todo el mundo es increíble y tenemos que mantenerlo ahí.
Muchísimas gracias.
Bueno, un placer. Gracias. Thank you. Pleasure.
It is to see so many elected officials. I remember when I first became mayor, there were a lot less of us. Now we have a great group, so it's great, and thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Some of you have come as far away as Exit 1. My God. There is such an Exit 1? There is. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And thank you for coming here today. As Hispanic Jersey, we come today to speak out with one united and clear voice, Bob Menendez, and all that he has done for Latinos in our state and across the country. But to condemn the Trump session Justice Department for accusing Bob Menendez of, quote, racializing and politicizing the legal proceedings against him. Can you imagine that? The Justice Department of Session accusing Bob Menendez of politicizing? They should be ashamed of themselves. They preemptively asked the judge to forbid that defense from mentioning his heritage, his culture, his lifelong advocacy on behalf of Latinos. Think about that. They asked the judge not to mention his heritage, his lifelong advocacy on behalf of Latinos. I have never heard of such a thing ever. It is insulting and personally offensive when you go after the nation's most senior, highest ranked Hispanic elected official. It is you who is injecting race and politics into it, not the other way around. Growing up Hispanic in America is part of who Menendez is. It is part of who we all are. And it's our shared experiences and our identity that unites us. It's why Bob Menendez has dedicated his entire career in public service, lending his voice to the voiceless, advocating for our communities, fighting for immigrants' rights, and leading the charge for comprehensive immigration reform. Every step of the way, Bob Menendez has paved the way for other Latinos and future generations and community and elected leaders. I can't tell you why the department has decided to retry Senator Menendez. It doesn't make sense. 11 out of 13 deliberating jurors voted to acquit. That's a landslide in my book. And many of them left wondering, as many of us have, why they tried him in the first place. But after announcing his decision last week, the Department of Justice immediately filed a motion asking the judge in a retrial to bar Senator Menendez from even acknowledging his Hispanic heritage, something I have never heard before. As if that's why they lost. When we have an administration that has taken an adversarial stance to the communities we represent, it is hard not to read between the lines of the government's filing. On the very day Senator Menendez was on the Senate floor defending dreamers and their future here in the United States, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hit the send button on a misguided filing. All I can tell you is that Bob Menendez doesn't back down from a fight. He stands up for New Jersey, for Latinos, for all Americans across this great nation. He has our back, and we will never forget he has it. You know, I personally think that this whole retrial is an effort by the Department of Justice to damage Menendez for the upcoming election in November. New Jersey has 2 Democratic senators. We are making an effort to make sure that we win the majority. And if they can damage a senator here in New Jersey, they think that they can beat him. We are here together to show our support and make sure that Senator Menendez realizes that he's got the support of New Jersey. And now I have some other members that want to say a few words. First, I'd like to call on State Senator Teresa Ruiz to say a few words.
I'm going to use yours. I'll say one. So thank you, Congressman. This is set up for a very tall person. and I see Pat Campos is on the list, so I'm going to bring the microphone down. I'm going to use the congressman's notes because I had the same line, but it's on my cell phone, and on a bright day today it doesn't see clearly. In the motion that the DOJ filed, they preemptively asked the judge to forbid the defense from negotiating his heritage, his culture, his lifelong advocacy on behalf of Latinos. I woke up this morning and I can tell you that even if I wanted to come to this press conference and pretend that I wasn't Latina, I cannot do that. It is in my DNA. It is who I am. It is who he is. Anyone who recognizes what's going on here, you don't have to be an attorney, you don't have to be a defense trial advocate, you don't have to sit in the courtroom the way I did to recognize what is happening here. It's the maligning of an individual who's committed himself and his lifelong work to the people of this state and to Latinos across this country. It is shameful. But more importantly, it is scary. The Department of Justice is supposed to defend our constitutional rights, to be the standard bearer of freedom of justice and inclusion, and to remind all Americans that we have opportunities of freedom of expression. And that is exactly what they want to prohibit our senator from doing. Even during the trial, when Puerto Rico was hit with one of the largest natural disasters, he made it his priority to get on a plane and go down there to be sure that he would see the destruction firsthand. During that trial, he was accused of helping people outside of his geographic location. And I said, absolutely he does. Because as Americans and Puerto Ricanos on the island, we don't have an elected representative. But we do have a fighter, and that's always been Senator Bob Menendez. And when we look at the news today, there are still thousands of Puerto Ricanos that don't have electricity. Americans who served in our armed forces, people who contribute to the economy of this country, there and on the mainland. And we still have Bob Menendez fighting for us. It is shameful, but it is scary that the balance of justice is being utilized for a witch hunt.
Thank you, Senator. Assemblyman and former Speaker Vincent Prieto.
Good morning, everybody. And first and foremost, let me thank Congressman Series for setting this up. We're here in reference to Senator Bob Menendez, somebody that has been an inspiration to everyone that you see here behind me, and to so many people in the state of New Jersey. He hails from the same city that I grew up in Union City, and to me, he has been an inspiration for all of us, because he walks the streets that a lot of people walk today with a lot of challenges in the onslaught by the Department of Justice and the Trump administration against immigrants. This is clear that this is just part of it. To somebody that can't say what they are, where they come from, and that is something, as Senator Ruiz said, when we wake up in the morning, that's who we are. When we're here, that's what we express, because that's who we are. And he has broken so many glass ceilings for all of us, and to make the quality of life better, not just for immigrants or Hispanics in the state of New Jersey and in this nation, but for everybody, because he has everybody in mind. During the fall, while he was going through this trial, I stood with him doing an event about DACA and Dreamers at New Jersey City University, because he takes the time, and he would go down to Washington to make sure his duties were being taken care of, because it's more important for him to care about the people, what he has given back to our community, than for himself. And anybody else would have been hunkered down trying to see what this trial would have been. He knew he'd be vindicated, and we know he will be vindicated again, but it's injustice to do this in an election year, to see that somebody, you can try and hurt him, racially hurt him, but what else can you think of this administration that has been onslaught with every type of immigrant? And we see it now with Hispanics, that in this neighborhoods that we live in and we represent, the people are scared and they don't know what's going on. This is not the America I was brought to, And when I was brought and given the American dream, it was that we all had equality and we all had rights, and we were all able to aspire to get to somewhere. And listen, a lot of people here, that's what we do, and we fight to make sure that each and every one of you has that opportunity. So Bob Menendez will definitely be vindicated. This is a gentleman that is irreplaceable, and it's somebody that has everybody's in mind, and at the end of the day, I always say the cream rises through the top, and Menendez is definitely up there. So thank you so much, and Albio, again, thank you for putting this together.
Thank you, Speaker. We'll now hear from the Mayor of Perth Amboy, Walter Diaz.
Good morning. I'm here joining my fellow leaders, Congressman Albio Series, Senator Teresa Ruiz, and all the leaders that are here. I have worked with them for my 10 years as mayor, and I respect each and every one of them. And we're here to speak today about standing together to speak for a gentleman who has been a public servant to the state of New Jersey for the past 45 years. Senator Bob Menendez has made himself available to the constituents of my city and to me, a mayor of an urban city. Every time I've dealt with him, it has been in transparency, addressing issues that affect all of us, not just Latinos, but all New Jersey residents. That's the Bob Menendez that I know. Thanks to Senator Menendez, we opened the doors to the first federally qualified faith-based healthcare center in the United States in the city of Perth Amboy, working for families to ensure that they had adequate health care. Perth Amboy took an initiative to change its community, and there was Senator Bob Menendez who saw the vision and wholeheartedly supported it. This project, located in the heart of our community, created jobs, developed our local economy, and continued to serve patients in need. And who could forget Superstorm Sandy and how he championed our recovery efforts to ensure that we receive federal dollars to rebuild our destroyed infrastructure and damaged homes in all the communities in the state of New Jersey. This goes to show he has led and worked collaboratively with other leaders to warrant that we are best served. These foul attempts to disempower one of the most respected senators in the state of New Jersey is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Dollars that can go towards funding other federal projects that meet the needs of New Jerseyans. They're trying to destroy his reputation when they should be focused on his commitment and his service to New Jersey and our nation. As a distinguished public servant, he has fought for New Jersey on so many issues. He has fought for community development funding, veteran affairs, and the safety and the well-being of our nation. He has stood up, and you heard Senator Teresa Ruiz, for Puerto Rico. As a granddaughter, as a daughter, it is so disheartening to see what's happened on the island. But who has been at the forefront, speaking up for us, our families, has been Senator Bob Menendez. And he's done the same for DACA, those students that don't have they've been challenged. They're Americans. And I can go on and on. He has just been someone who has always put the best interests of his constituents first. So I am here to stand for him as he stood up for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now we'll have Patricia Campos representing Lupe.
Thank you, Congressman Sear, for bringing us all together today. Yes, thank you. Muy buenos días. Good morning. My name is Patricia Campos Medina, and I'm the president of Latinas United for Political Empowerment, Lupe PAC. We are the largest statewide organization for Latino women in New Jersey. Hay un dicho en español que dice, dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. Tell us who your friends are, and we will tell you who you are. We at Lupe PAC are proud to call Senator Bob Menendez our friend, our mentor, and our champion. Para nosotras, en Lupe PAC, Bob Menendez ha sido nuestro amigo, nuestro mentor, y nuestro campeón. And we are proud to tell you that he is our friend, because we know exactly who he is, a man of principle and conviction. who has always stood for those without a voice in his community. And his community is made up of everyone here in New Jersey and around the nation, whites, blacks, Latinos, immigrants alike. But as Latinos, we have a special pride on who he is, because he's always been proud of his heritage. The son of immigrants, nuestro senador. Whether a Latino is working in the farm fields of California, in the hotels, restaurants, and the hotels and restaurants of Virginia, in the tobacco fields of South Carolina, or in Calle 8 in Miami, Florida, we all call him nuestro senador. Why? Because in our current political landscape, where immigrants and poor people are attacked as the problem in this country, Senator Menendez has stood for us. He is a shining example of the American dream, and he makes our sons and daughters dream that anything is possible. Senator Menendez has defended our community in the United States Congress since the moment he arrived. So when the Department of Justice insists in continuing this witch hunt against him, it is a continuation of the unjustified attacks against our immigrant communities. This is the same Justice Department where its leader, Attorney General Sessions, must recuse himself because of federal investigations against his leader, the President. A Justice Department that instead of focusing on major crimes such as domestic terrorism, drugs, and corporate fraud, has focused on demonizing our immigrant community and our leaders. These attacks are meant to silence us and to silence our leaders, but we won't stand for it. I personally have a great deal of respect for Senator Menendez. I thank him for his dedication and honesty every time I dealt with him. As a young union organizer, I came to his office many times with workers who needed his help to get a union contract, to get a better wage. He treated my union members with respect, the same respect he treats his fellow colleagues in the United States Senate and everyone he knows. As I moved up in the labor movement, and I became a national legislative director in Washington, D.C. for my union, a lobbyist for representing immigrant workers in the halls of Congress. I had in Congress the same conversations that I had with him in Union City or here in Elizabeth. It were conversations about the issues and about how he could make a difference in workers' life. For me, Congressman Menendez, the Congressman Menendez I met as a young organizer is the same Senator Menendez I learned from in Washington, D.C. as a lobbyist, transparent and clear about his objectives to be a voice for working people in New Jersey and in the United States of America. Senator Bob Menendez, we are here with you today because you have been with us before, in the fields, in the kitchens, in the picket lines, at the negotiating table. Everywhere that a Latino demanded respect, you have lent your voice. Senador Menendez, estamos aquí hoy porque usted ha estado con nosotros siempre, en los campos, en las cocinas, en los hoteles, en la huelga y en la lucha por contratos sindicales justos. En todas partes que un latino demanda respeto, el senador Menendez ha estado ahí, presente. Él es nuestro senador, nuestra voz en el Senado de los Estados Unidos, our champion. And today, we, the leaders here and the leaders of Lupe PAC, ask the Department of Justice to stop this witch hunt against him and to stop demonizing our leader and our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to open it up for any questions that you may have.
Yeah, Congressman, were you in touch with Senator Menendez's office, staff, consultants, allies about setting this up?
No, not really.
Not really, or not at all?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. It just seems.
Why
that,
made you ask that?
Well, Menendez has been very good at having a PR effort both during the trial.
Do you really think I know all these people for many years?
Yes, do.
And there are a number of people that called me that couldn't make it.
It just happens to be after clergy who also showed
Well,
the trial a lot.
this is my idea with my colleagues here.
That's the right thing.
Somebody else?
Is there an actual action item that you as a coalition plan to take beyond just calling for the DOJ to stop? Are you writing a letter? Are there any action items that you plan to take?
Currently, all we're doing is showing the support. If we follow it up with a letter, we will put that together when the trial begins. We just want to make sure that the letter that was sent to the judge asking for them not to talk about his heritage, about his background, to us, that's very insulting. That is who Menendez is. I have known Menendez since before he was a mayor, and he has not changed that today he's a U.S. Senator. ¿Alguien más quiere una pregunta?
¿Nos puede repetir eso en español lo que acabo?
Porque yo he conocido al senador Menendez desde que antes era alcalde. Menendez nunca ha cambiado. Ha representado a su pueblo con honor, con distinción, y el hecho de que el Departamento de Justicia le manda una carta al juez antes del juicio diciéndole que su cultura, que su hispanidad, que no pueden expresar eso en la corte, es insultante para todos los que estamos aquí. Nosotros somos hispanos, orgullosos de ser hispanos. Y de pensar que el Departamento de Justicia de los Estados Unidos mande esa carta, yo nunca he oído en mi vida de tal cosa. Es insultante a nosotros. Nosotros hemos corrido como hispanos, hispanoamericanos, defendiendo no solamente a los hispanos, sino a todas las personas que nosotros representamos. Muchas gracias.
Congressman, a lot of people see this as just a waste of taxpayer dollars. Can you just weigh in on that aspect of a retrial?
Well, when you figure that out of the 13 jurors, 11 said there was nothing there, tells me that this political department of the Department of Justice is out to damage Senator Menendez because of the November election. A lot is riding on the November election throughout the country. And this is just one of their efforts. This is the most politically Justice Department, I think, in the history of this country. And no one should be shocked that they're pulling this gimmick.
A follow-up, if you would, sir. Have you, or anyone, maybe even Senator Reese, have you reached out to the constituents to try to maybe mobilize and make sure that everyone is getting to the full, that the message and the concerns that you have are in fact reaching the community? You're trying to make sure that...
Since this president got elected, I've been doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Senator.
Alcaldesa Díaz, por favor, denos su nombre, su apellido y su título.
Wilda Díaz, alcaldesa de la ciudad de Fort Amway.
¿Nos puede repetir en español lo que usted dijo en el podio? ¿Por qué su apoyo al senador Bob Menendez?
Yo siempre he trabajado con el senador Bob Menendez. He sido una persona que ha luchado para el estado de New Jersey, ha ayudado muchísimo a las comunidades de los pueblos urbanos. Y nosotros hoy estamos aquí, los líderes de hablar hispana, saben que estamos hoy apoyando al senador Menendez porque nosotros vemos que es muy injusto lo que está pasando ahora hoy corriendo con estos cargos que siguen el Departamento de Justicia tratando de dañar la imagen y la reputación del senador. Y lo más importante es que nosotros ese dinero deberán emplearlo en las necesidades de los pueblos a través del Estado y aquí mismo en los Estados Unidos.
¿Ustedes toman este acto del Departamento de Justicia como un insulto hacia los latinos?
Seguro que sí, es un insulto, esto es para dañar en la imagen de una persona que tanto ha trabajado para el Estado de New Jersey. El senador ha hecho un gran esfuerzo, siempre luchando para los inmigrantes, para todas las personas de habla hispana, para todos los residentes de New Jersey y las acciones que ellos están tomando y últimamente que no quieren que él identifique que es hispano y que mande una carta a un juez para que él no tenga la oportunidad de declarar quién es, porque nosotros todos respetamos y sabemos el trabajo que se llevaba a cabo a través del senador.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Pero es que my Spanish is like... Pero lo que nos pueda explicar sobre lo que dijiste de la ayuda que le ha dado a Puerto Rico y la situación.
Oh, okay. Cuando estaban acusando a nuestro senador Bob Menendez, lo acusaron de ayudar al presidente afuera del distrito de él. El distrito de él, sin embargo, en el mapa es el estado de New Jersey. Pero él ha sido un campeón para nuestra gente afuera del estado, desde California hasta Massachusetts, y más inclusivo esta vez y siempre ha sido uno de los únicos senadores que cuando Puerto Rico se encuentra en una época de necesidad, Senator Bob Menendez se para en el piso del Congreso a pelear para nuestros derechos y para continuar la conversación que estamos necesitados. Hoy todavía tenemos familias sin electricidad y nosotros no tenemos un representante a nivel federal, pero sí sabemos que en Bob Menendez tenemos un amigo y alguien que siempre ha apoyado la agenda de nuestros puertorriqueños.
Perfecto, senadora,
Okay.
dame su nombre y su apellido solo para tenerlo en cámara.
Ruiz.
Teresa
Ruiz. Gracias.
Alcalde Robert, por favor, hábleme sobre este esfuerzo que están haciendo ahora. Sé que por el momento es solamente un apoyo moral, no van a enviar ninguna carta, pero ¿cuál es el mensaje?
El mensaje es fácil, esto es un ataque directo contra el Departamento de Justicia, contra nuestro senador Menéndez, pero realmente no contra el senador Menéndez, contra todos los hispanos que estamos aquí en este país, contra todos esos indocumentados que somos de otros países, personas trabajadoras, salvadoreños, mexicanos, dominicanos que hemos venido a este país a buscar el sueño americano y nos están tratando como personas que no somos humanos y básicamente ahora están atacando a nuestro líder, a la persona que nosotros admiramos mucho, que es nuestro senador Menéndez, y lo piensan atacar primero él y después van a atacarnos todos nosotros, así que no es nada justo, es una persona que siempre ha trabajado para nuestra comunidad, es un hispano, es el orgullo de nosotros, nos están tumbando nuestros superhéroes y eso no es justo y tenemos que hacer algo, tenemos que pelear, porque en este país nosotros necesitamos una persona como el senador Menéndez.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Gracias a usted. ¿Todo bien?